Hello, welcome to Dungeon Rolls Podcast, and today we're doing another Martial Arts Madness Month review. Today we're reviewing the 1989 classic film Kickboxer, which is a martial arts action film that's an hour and 45 minutes, directed by Mark DiSalle and David Worf, which Mark DiSalle had a cameo in the film as a U.S. reporter, right? And the film stars, you know it, JCVD, the muscles from Brussels, Jean Claude Van Damme, or Van Damme, as he's most commonly called, who plays Kurt Sloan. The supporting cast in the film is Dennis Alexio, who plays his American brother, Eric Sloan, who Dennis Alexio was also a real-life heavyweight kickboxing champion. You have Michael Qissi as Tong Po, who's the main villain of the film, who's in a lot of Jean Claude Van Damme movies. You have Roche Ashan as Miley and Dennis Chan as Shen Chow, right? And the music of this film was composed by Paul Herzog, who also worked on Bloodsport, right? So yeah, this movie apparently was supposed to star Chuck Norris, but for some reason they went with Jean Claude Van Damme, right? Probably because they got him because Jean Claude Van Damme has more of a kickboxing background and Chuck Norris is more karate. But I'm not 100% sure on Chuck. I'm pretty sure Chuck Norris is just a karate guy. I could be wrong, right? Yeah. So it's funny. Like this is like there was like there was a more recent Jean Claude Van Damme movie I watched like last year or whatever. I have it on Blu-ray somewhere. But that movie, it was kind of similar to this movie, but it takes place in the Philippines. But in that movie, he also had an American brother, and that movie, the way they explained why he has a French accent and his American brother doesn't, is that they have the same explanation in this film, where apparently their parents divorced and the mom took the youngest, was Kurt Sloan, which is Jean Claude Van Damme's character, to Belgium, where he was, raised, which later on in the film he also tells like somebody, he's like, oh no, I was born in Belgium. It's like, yeah, even though like everybody just calls him an American in the movie. To the point, like, before the final fight, he's at a temple and he's having visions of ancient Muay Thai warriors fighting, and they're like, he gets greeted by like I think it's supposed to be like an American eagle, right? And I'm like, what the it's like the American, like the personification of the American spirit, like telling him you gotta win that fight. Which the movie is about, like, Kurt Sloan, who's the brother of the heavyweight American kickboxing champion Eric Sloan, who after winning a fight gets interviewed by a U.S. reporter, tells him, hey, kickboxing was invented was invented in Thailand, and they're the best kickboxers in the world. And he's like, you know what? I'm gonna go to Taiwan next. It's like Taiwan, Thailand. What's the difference? I'm gonna kick ass everywhere. So he goes there, right? And there's a cool, kind of montage of where they're showing off like Thailand, right? Which apparently most of them, if you look at the credits, most of the cast are Hong Kong actors, and that's because most of the movie was shot in Hong Kong. I think from what I heard, there's very little scenes in the movie where they actually shot it in Thailand, right? But yeah, there's a cool montage where they're showing off all the sights in Thailand, and they even go to the red light district where Eric Sloan, gets it in with a local Thai lady, right? Which is a big no-no before a fight. They even tell, like, players, hey, don't jack off, don't fuck before the big game. It's going to weaken you, right? But he does it anyway, and he shows up to the fight like super cocky, right? super cocky, and only to get his ass kicked by Tiger Tong Po, which is Michael Qissi, who's in a lot of Jean Claude Van Damme movies, and the guy looks scary as fuck in the fucking movie, right? Looks scary as fuck, right? And he fucking paralyzes Eric Sloane's character with a fucking elbow, right? Which totally didn't look like it hit him in his spine, but whatever. Like, so yeah, what happens is that, like, this is, by the way, this is going to be one of those reviews where I recap the whole fucking movie. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck, okay? Go watch it. Go watch the movie. Right? So yeah, what happens is, like, literally they put Eric Sloane on a stretcher and just leave him outside for Kurt Sloane to hail a taxi, and it's being driven by African American ex Special Forces guy who decides to just live in Thailand because he loves. Let's be real, he loves to fuck the horse, right? He loves the Thai ladies. Okay, I'm not gonna make any certain jokes. But yeah, so yeah, what happens is that Jean Claude Van Damme character, after being told by the doctor at a hospital that his brother's paralyzed, decides to train in Muay Thai kickboxing so he could avenge his brother in the ring, right? And he gets introduced to Benny Chan's character, Chen Chow, who is supposed to be Thai, but has a Chinese name. Nobody cares. Who lives with his dog, which Kiki, which is a German Shepherd, in the boonies, right? And he has a hot niece in town, played by Rochelle Oshana, and her character's name is Miley, right? Who runs a grocer, right? So he gets trained, we have a training montage in the movie. There's a funny scene where he takes, where the trainer takes, Jean Claude Van Damme to a bar for him to get drunk and then fight, to get drunk and then fight, dance with the girls and then fight a bunch of dudes, right? Which there's a great scene in the movie where everybody knows Jean Claude Van Damme can do the splits, but in the movie, beginning of the movie, he can't do the splits, right? He can't kick very high. So again, the kick higher, they basically torture Jean Claude Van Damme's character by stretching his legs, and having kick palm trees or whatever. They're not palm trees, but you know what they are. They look like palm trees. Yeah. So what happens in the final climax of the movie, which a lot happens. Tong Po, to get in Jean Claude Van Damme's head, kidnaps Miley and does the you-know-what, right? And it's not nice, but they don't show it, right? And then the Freddie Wu, who is the fight promoter, right, who's also a gangster, borrows money from his boss, which is $1 million, which it sounds like he's being dubbed by Jim Cummings, the voice of Winnie the Pooh, doing a Chinese accent. I don't know if that's the case. That's what it sounds like, right? Where he borrows $1 million from his boss to bet on Tong Po winning the final round. So he has Eric Sloane, that Dennis Alexio's character, kidnapped, right? Near the end of the movie, where there's a scene where the gangsters show up. Dennis Alexio fights him off, but because he's in a wheelchair, he ends up losing. And one of these assholes throws a knife at Kiki, almost killing our I'm assuming baby girl, with a throwing knife. I was so relieved that they show up and it turns out Kiki's still alive, right? Which Kiki's even there to watch the final fight in the movie. So yeah, what ends up happening is that the Dennis characters goes to rescue Eric Sloan, right? So, like, you know, Jean Claude Van Damme's character doesn't have to throw the final match. And, you know, I forget the other guy's name, the U.S. expatriate taxi driver shows up with a fucking M4A1. Even has the grenade launcher, like, attachment. And, like, you know, also goes to help Eric Sloan. And they get revenge for Kiki, right, on the knife thrower by hooking him by the fucking balls and lifting him up. It's like, holy fuck. That was some fucking John Wick shit, right? I don't think John Wick would be that brutal, right? And the guy even killed the dog, which I don't give a fuck. You threw a knife at a dog, that's intent to kill, right? Fuck that guy. Right, but I liked how they had both ways, where, like, yeah, they made you think, oh, maybe the dog was gonna die, but it didn't, right? Yeah, so, like, yeah, what happens, you have an awesome fight at the end of the movie at, like, where they decide to fight with the old ways, right? At, like, a temple where our characters have to line their hands with cloth and dip their fists in resin and fucking powdered broken glass, which I have a glass phobia. I hate fucking broken glass, which sucks because, like, one of my part-time jobs is I'm a fucking janitor, right? So I have to, oh my god, I have to, like, one place I have to clean, like, is like a body shop, and like almost every time I go there, there's fucking broken glass on the fucking floor. It's like, fuck. Oh my god. And then I have to, like, dump it into, like, a bin, and I dump it in the dumpster, and, like, there's always dust, shitload of dust that goes up. One of these days, I'm afraid I'm gonna fucking breathe in, like, powdered glass. Fucking hate my job. Yeah. God, I have a phobia of broken glass, so it's like, yeah. So you have a very brutal fight where they're kickboxing, they're throwing punches, they're slashing each other with their glass fists, right? Which is one of my complaints with the movie, is that you have a lot of one-sided fights in the movie, but you know, it almost works in the climax of the film, where, like, Jean Claude Van Damme has to take abuse after abuse from this Tong Po guy. And also he finds out, like, you know, during the fight, he tells him, "You bleed like my Lee, good fuck." He's like, he finds out, oh, he grates my girl, goddamn. Only for, you know, Eric Sloan's character to show up, do a whistle, right, and shouts the Nanya Cow chant, which means the White Warrior. So they get the whole fucking crowd to chant White Warrior, and then, like, Jean Claude Van Damme's character, which that's his nickname in Thailand, decides to go all out and then beat the shit out of Tong Po, which lots of beautiful kicks, punches. There's one point where he does like a double fist side punch, which looks like the fucking what's that special move in Terraformers? I forget what it's called, but it's the thing where it's supposed to, like, the impulse punch. Right, I forget the name for it, but it's like, that's what it does. It creates impulse. Right? It's supposed to be like a fatal kill, like a fatal hit, right? Unless you transfer the force somewhere else, right? Watch Terraformers. It's a good show. Or the manga is better, but whatever. Right? Yeah, so awesome, brutal fight at the end of the movie with kick-ass music, right, by Paul Herzog, right? So yeah, that's how the movie ends. That's how the movie ends, right? With him winning and, like, everybody cheering, right? Very patriotic. Did I mention there's a bald eagle in the movie that visits him before the fight, the last fight of the movie? So overall, I enjoyed this movie. This was a fucking great movie. Um, I like the comedy. The characters were okay. The dialogue here and there and the acting's not the greatest, right? But you know this. But you know the glass knuckle fight at the end of the movie was great. You know, the characters were cool, like I said. The training montage was good. The scene where he's dancing drunk with the Thai girls was funny. Apparently, I don't know if he was actually really drunk, but he looked it, and he did a good job of acting drunk too. Right, and I liked how they got revenge for the dog, right? And the dog didn't die. Holy, they fucking got a hook in that guy's fucking dick and balls, and then like lift him up, lift him up in the air. It's like, we got revenge for Kiki. It's like, holy fuck, that was brutal. So awesome, awesome movie, good fight. Yeah. So thanks for Komanga for recommending this movie, right? So yeah, yeah, I haven't decided what our next movie review is going to be, but maybe by the time I upload this, which is going to be on Monday, I'll have it figured out. If not, if you guys have any suggestions, let me know in the comments. Peace.